The reason why Hajin could guess that this problem was related to Chai Jin-yoon was because of the panicked expression on Nayun's face. When Hajin ran down the mountain, he then finally saw Nayun, who was currently standing confused at the entrance gate. She realized that she was thinking of a way to go there. Realizing that, Hajin then changed his suitcase back to the form of a motorcycle. While riding the motorcycle, Hajin then called Nayun. Nayun was then shocked when she saw him suddenly behind her. Without explaining further to her, Hajin hurriedly asked her, "Where do you need to go?" After that, after riding for a while, they finally arrived in front of a building. Seeing Nayun arriving there, a neatly dressed man then immediately approached her and said that they were waiting for her. Seeing him, Nayun called him the manager and hurriedly asked him about her brother's condition. The manager did not explain to her further and immediately took her to the ward first, but, when Hajin was running after Nayun, he was suddenly stopped by the guards. They apologized to him. Only family members were allowed into the room. Nayun was then surprised and immediately stopped her steps when she saw that. Nayun was a little hesitant at this time, because after all, it was Hajin who brought her here. Seeing Nayun who suddenly stopped, Hajin calmly called her and asked what she was doing. He told her to go there immediately. Nayun was silent for a moment hearing that. She then thanked him and immediately ran towards Chai Jin-yoon's ward. Looking at Nayun and the guards who were running so hurriedly, Hajin was just silent while clenching his hands tightly. His mood looked a bit unusual at the moment, but, while he was standing there silently, someone suddenly approached him and called out to him. That person was Yona. Yona looked surprised when she saw him here. Seeing her, Hajin said that she arrived earlier than he expected. Yona explained, "Are you family? Attends every big event of the Chai family. I immediately came down from the mountain and took a helicopter to come here as soon as I heard the news. The others were a little late because of traffic." But, when Yona saw his face, she then confusedly asked him, "Why is your expression like that?" Hajin just shut up at her question. This was not something he could tell everyone. The reason why he had that expression was because according to the Book of Truth, the estimated time for the seed to sprout was around January. Now it was still October, so he thought he still had plenty of time, but he missed one thing, the possibility that Chai Jin-yoon's consciousness could recover before the seed sprouted. If Chai Jin-yoon was conscious, then, Hajin clenched his hands tightly when thinking about that conjecture. Seeing the cold sweat that filled Hajin's face, Yona worriedly asked if he was so worried. She then took out a handkerchief from her pocket and wiped the sweat off his face using it. She also told him that Chai Jin-yoon did not regain consciousness. There was just something that changed. To be honest, they said it was too soon to be called hopeful. It was nothing to worry about. Hearing that, Hajin then understood. He let out a sigh of relief hearing that Chai Jin-yoon did not regain consciousness. But, Yona continued, even so, this did not apply to Nayun. Even the smallest signs made her unable to remain calm. Yona knew that he was the one who gave Nayun a ride to get here. She thanked him for being considerate to her. She then handed him the handkerchief and asked him to keep it. While taking the handkerchief, Hajin thanked her. After that, he then said he would leave first. Yona was then surprised to see him suddenly leaving, and without seeing Nayun, Hajin paused for a moment hearing her confusion. He then said that he just felt that he didn't belong here. Yona was stunned hearing his words. She could only stare confusedly at Hajin who was walking away. She really didn't understand the meaning of what he had said earlier. After parting with Hajin, Yona then immediately followed Nayun and headed towards Chai Jin-yoon's ward. After she walked for a while, she then saw Nayun who was standing in front of the door. When Nayun with a tired face stood waiting at the door, she was then surprised when someone walked over and called her, and when she saw the person, she then became very happy. She was very happy with Yona's arrival and immediately ran to hug her. After sitting on a nearby chair, Yona then asked about the situation, but Nayun said that she wasn't sure either. She just saw that the graph was fluctuating irregularly. This was different than usual. Nayun's face looked happy when telling her that. Seeing that, Yona also felt happy. She then asked, "This means a good sign, right?" Nayun confirmed that. She had heard of cases like this before, and most of them would wake up within 3 months. For now, they said that Big Brother needed peace, so they were expelled. Hearing that, Yona said that they just need to wait patiently. Nayun agreed, but her body was trembling because of the excitement she felt. It felt like her heart was about to explode. She also couldn't stem her tears anymore at this time. The wait that she had been waiting for would finally be realized. Nayun felt a little embarrassed for Yona for suddenly crying like this in front of her. Seeing her situation, Yona then became worried. Nayun asked, "Am I weird? I should feel happy." this is good news, so I should be smiling, but, strangely, I can't stop shedding tears. Yona just kept quiet while comforting her best friend silently, because she realized that if she said that she knew what she was feeling, it would be a lie. She had never lost a loved one in a tragic accident, but Nayun had been waiting for a family member who had no hope of regaining consciousness, for 5 long years. For so many years, anger turned into sorrow, grief into despair, despair into acceptance, and in the end, she started to learn to give up, and just as he started to give up, suddenly a glimmer of hope appeared, something like that. How could she understand such pain? So, Yona decided to just comfort Nayun silently for now. Shortly after that, Soho and others finally arrived there. The two of them were certainly surprised by their arrival. They were also surprised when they saw Sung-ah also came. But, Nayun then realized something. Seeing that there was no figure of Hajin, Nayun confusedly asked, "Where is Hajin? He was the one who brought me here." Hearing her question, Yona replied that Hajin had already left. Nayun was then confused to hear that. She then confusedly asked why, but Yona did not know about it. She told her not to ask her. Yona was also confused at this time. For someone who was very worried about Nayun, she thought that Hajin would wait a little longer. She was also a little confused and did not understand the expression on his face earlier. Meanwhile, Hajin is now somewhere with his motorcycle. He was not running, but he was out of breath and his head felt heavy. He felt he might be too tense for a moment, but Hajin was then surprised by a sudden notification sound from his smartwatch. It was a message containing, "Apprentice, I made a new ID for you since it seemed like it would take a while for you to join the Violet Banquet. Try logging it." Hajin's face looked tired at the moment. When he read the message, he wondered if this was from the boss. In the message, the boss also told him that the previous mission's reward, an item worth 300 million won, would be transferred to his Violet Banquet account. She also gave him the account login code. After reading the message, Hajin's mind then drifted back to Chai Jinyun's case. Today he was lucky that Chai Jinyun didn't wake up, but, next time, he might really wake up. The one who is comatose in the hospital ward, and the one who wanders around with full consciousness. Even a fool knows who is easier to kill. The news about Chai Jinyun really has an impact on him. When Hajin looked back at his smartwatch, the boss messaged him again and asked when he planned to take the next mission. Meanwhile, in an abandoned building, it was the building that became the headquarters of the Chameleon Troop. The person who messaged Hajin was indeed the boss. She was currently sitting there while waiting for a reply to her message. Shortly after that, she finally got a message back from Hajin. At any time, Hajin realized that this path was the only grip he could hold on to.